Hello everyone, my name is Sophie and welcome to a new episode of the Bookhater Club podcast. Yes, we are back. It's been a while since I uploaded my last episode, and the reason for that is that I just didn't have anything to talk about. And I'm sitting here and I was racking my brain what to talk about and what the topic could be for today's episode, because I just feel like they need to be at least an hour long, because otherwise it's just a normal video. Like, a podcast has to be at least an hour long, at least. Optimally, it's like 3 hours long, because I want to be busy, I want to listen to it while I'm doing something. So today I've prepared a few topics for us, okay? First of all, if you don't know who I am, if you're here and you're like, who the fuck is this girl? My name is Sophie, honestly Sophie on YouTube, and also on Goodreads, and also on TikTok. Please follow me. Give me a like. Subscribe maybe if you want. And I do book rants. Yes, my latest rant was about Fourth Wing. Yes, the book that everyone's loving. That's what I was talking about in my last rant, and then before that we did Akomov. And right now I'm not reading anything. I uploaded Fourth Wing a week ago, and I haven't picked up another book since then. I finished it and I was like, you know what? I deserve a break. Which is not that good when you do book reviews. You don't really deserve a break. You can't really take a break. But I don't really know what to read. And whenever I say shit like, oh my god, please leave in the comments what to read next, people don't comment. I'm like, tell me what I should talk about in my podcast, and no one tells me anything. So then I'm like, okay, thanks guys. Also, I said under my last video that I wanted to give a shout out to my favorite comment, and I just want to give a shout out to a comment that I randomly saw under one of my reviews, and that review was Serpent and Dove. I read that, I don't even know how long ago I uploaded that. It's been a while, I think, sometime last, like maybe a year ago even. And so I don't think, or I don't know if this person is watching it. It was Jin Cornell. Shout out Jin Cornell if you're watching this. I saw your comment and you said, Serpent and Dove literally made me want to dig a hole, curl up and die. And then like a side, I don't know how you call this, like a slash. I was like, okay, queen or king or whatever you want to be. I feel like I'm going to start doing the shoutouts, because I feel like that's what you kind of do on the podcast. So I also want to give out a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Sandarella. I know we've talked on Instagram before, and I always see you commenting on my videos, and I really appreciate it, and I get really excited because I always know you're going to be there, and I always look forward to your comments. And I see people who, like, sometimes it's like so crazy to me, because I remember the first person that ever commented under one of my videos and was like, keep going, which was like, I don't know when I did my channel, like 3 years ago, and it was a person called Seabird, and they had a flamingo as their profile picture, and then they kept commenting on under like my first couple of videos, and then they just kind of disappeared. So I don't know if they don't like me anymore, if they just, like, what happened to them. But I think about them sometimes, like, oh my god, Seabird. What happened to Seabird? We don't know. But another shout out I want to give to Miss Mariana. I always see you comment too. Love you so much. Thank you for the comments. Like, I always see these people under the videos. So if you want me to shout you out, leave a comment. And also Mrs. Buffalo Wings. I don't know your name. Mrs. Buffalo Wings. I do love Buffalo Wings. I always see your comments too. Or Mr. I don't want to be rude. Could also be a Mr. of course, or whatever you want to go by. But I don't know your name, Buffalo Wings. So shout out for you, to you, from me, for always commenting. I love all of you. Those are like some people that I always see in my comments. I always get so excited when I see them, and when I see they're still there. When I see that the same people keep coming back, because that makes me really happy, because it gives me kind of like the feeling that I actually have like a little community of people, of book haters, from the Bookhater Club, because I'm the president. So thank you for commenting. I always look forward to it, and please keep coming back. Okay? Please. I don't know what to say. Like, I wanted to do this, but like, I get shy. Like, shout out, I guess. Hope you're having like peace and love, especially to you. Like a special peace and love to you. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm getting shy and blushing. I'm already sweating, you know, and I'm sweating more. So the topics we'll be talking about today, I picked out a few, okay, because I didn't really know. Nothing major has happened, or there's no big scandal where I was like, this needs to be talked about. There's some few things that happened, so we'll talk about those. First of all, just so you have a little overview, I'm gonna put a little like timestamps in the description box, so if you only want to hear about one topic or whatever, or you want to skip forward, you can look at the timestamps in the description box when I talk about what section. But the first thing I want to talk about is two book adaptation movies. What? Book adaptations, period. What book whatever. First one is gonna be The Selection. Second one is gonna be It Ends With Us. Maybe I shouldn't have done this, guys. It's really fucking hot. It's like 30 degrees. I also want to talk about some booktok drama that has happened at the beginning of the month with an author shading a reviewer for giving her a 4-star review, which I thought when this happened it was insane. As I said, this happened at the beginning of the month, so I don't even know if this is still relevant or people still think about this, but booktok drama is so interesting to me. There's another thing that has been going on recently that I want to talk about regarding a dude getting some backlash because he's a dude and he's reading. And then the last topic I'll be talking about is Jennifer Armentrout, because she has always given me weird vibes, and so I was like, there's gotta be something about her that justifies those vibes. Like, I shouldn't just be getting them for nothing. And so I looked her up a little bit to figure out if she's been in any drama or controversy, and I actually found something that's really fucking weird and interesting. So I have not heard anyone talk about this. I found it on a random blog post in a Reddit. And maybe there's more to her, okay? I don't really know. Because I just don't really know where to get my information from. Like, I don't know how to dig. I feel like you have to do it on Reddit, but I'm not on Reddit, so I only use Reddit in my browser. I don't even have the fucking app. I don't think people use that anyway. Okay, so what should we start with? Jennifer Armentrout we're gonna do last, because she's most interesting, I think. Let's start with The Selection. I have some notes here. So, The Selection is a book series by Kiera Cass. Please leave down below if you've read it, if you know about it. I actually, I think in my last video, or maybe in the Aquatar video, I quoted The Selection, and someone rightfully so commented, oh, that quote was from The Selection, and I saw your comment, because I said, break my heart, break it 1,000 times, if you like. It was only ever used to break anyway, and I didn't know where that quote was from. Why I knew this fucking quote. And then someone was like, oh, it's from The Selection. I was like, oh my god, yes it fucking is. So this is coming full circle. The Selection by Kiera Cass is a terrible book series, by the way. I looked it up and I found a picture of my old bookshelf from 2015. If I remember, I will put the picture up, but The Selection is like on display with the spin-off series about the main character's fucking daughter, okay? And I also have Obsidian by Jennifer Armentrout on that bookshelf, which is the first book in the Lux series by her, which is so old, and I just want to mention this right now, because I did read more than just From Blood and Ash by her. I was there when the Lux series was still releasing, I think. And I always thought the covers were so ugly, but we'll talk about that when we get there, because covers are relevant in the story, funny enough. So, tell me if you've read The Selection. Honestly, I was kind of reminiscing about it, and I don't remember much of it. I feel like it did not need to be a 3-book series. From what I remember, I probably rated it 5 stars anyway on Goodreads, because that's what I did with fucking everything back then. But it's not good. It's like The Bachelor... period. I want to say Bachelorette, but The Bachelorette is the second series when the daughter looks for a husband. It's The Bachelor, but in a dystopian world, and it just does, like, the world system doesn't make any sense. I don't think the writing was that good. Peace and love, Kiera Cass, you know, I think she's unproblematic, but maybe not that good of an author. I'm sorry. But I don't really know. I think The Selection is very much like, no one says The Selection is my favorite book, I think. Like, people like The Selection, but it's like, okay, it's not my favorite book. It's like a guilty pleasure read, and that was the same for me back then. Like, I think I already realized when I was reading it that it wasn't that good, and it's very simply written, but because of this, I was even more surprised that so many people were excited for it to be turned into a movie. And the story about the fucking movie, which I wasn't even aware of this until I saw someone post, the movie is cancelled. I was like, what movie? When did we decide this was going to be a movie? In April 2020, Netflix announced that they had the rights to the selection movie and that they were going to produce a movie. And obviously this was right when the pandemic hit. So there was not much progress for the year of 2020. But you have to imagine this was 3 years ago, okay? And it's funny because they were like, oh, we have the rights now. We're going to make it a movie. And there had been three previous attempts to make this a fucking movie. Okay? Does anyone fucking know about this? I feel like I watched a video. Oh my god. A video. A video. Sorry guys. A video. The accent is coming through. A video recently where someone was talking about the selection, but I don't remember by who and what it was about. But that's how I found out that there was a previous attempt to make this a movie by CW, which I don't know what CW is. If you're American, let me know. I think it's just like a company that produces movies or something. But they wanted to make it into a movie. And they were the first to try, and this was in 2012, which I think would have been perfect if it had worked in 2012, because that was the prime time for movies like this releasing. And everything that was attempting to release after that, or did release after that, like The Darkest Minds, that just tanked, you know, because it's not... that 2012 was the height for dystopian movies. And sadly, this never became a reality. Oh my god, I lied. They wanted to make it a TV show first. Sorry. We're starting off great. I'm already lying. They wanted to make it a TV show. And they actually filmed a pilot episode. And it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. If you look up the selection pilot episode, you will find it. It's like 45 minutes long. And I didn't watch it. I looked it up and I was like, didn't this exist? Didn't the person say this existed in the video? And it did. So if you want to watch it, you can go watch it. It's terrible. But the dude from Narnia is in it. And I'm going to tell you who exactly, because then people will know and I don't know his name. William Moseley, who plays Peter. He is in the fucking pilot. And it's terrible. Like, the pilot is terrible. The way it was shot is super cheap. It looks super, like, a super brokey version. You know what I mean? And then people in the comments were like, either, I'm so happy this didn't make the cut, or they saying, I could watch 20 episodes of this. And I don't think I could. Because, as I said, I didn't watch it, but I did go into it and kind of skip through it. So I didn't watch every single part. I just kind of wanted to look at the costumes and stuff, and it looked like complete ass. So they didn't produce this, but it just didn't work out. And then a year later, they decided to reshoot this with new actors and a new script to make it a show again. And again, it didn't work. And I think there's some scenes maybe of this public. There was like a trailer, I think. And it looks even worse. I don't really know how they managed that. Like how they managed to downgrade, but they did. And then, of course it didn't end here. Okay? They sold the rights to Warner Brothers. And they announced that they would make it into a movie. They were the first to say we're going to make it into a movie and not into a TV show like CW wanted to before. But they sat on the rights from 2015 to 2021, I think, and nothing happened. And so there was like a campaign for them to give up the rights and give them to another studio so there could be a movie made. And they gave them to Netflix. Netflix takes up the rights. Or 2020, sorry, not 2021. In 2020, and they announced we're going to be making a selection movie. There was a producer, there were directors, or there's just one director, right? One director, multiple producers, and a script was written. Actually, Kiara Cass, the author of the book series, she put it on her Instagram that she was reviewing the script, and she announced this in June of 2021. So now, as I said, there was a pandemic going on. Little bit, you know, so everything was halted or slowed down. Production wasn't really a thing, so it makes sense that it took longer for everything to happen with the script and everything. But you would imagine that there would be some announcements coming out, at least like starting 2022 when life started picking up again. Alas, there were no real news to all of this. until the 31st of May of 2023 of this year, and Netflix announced that they canceled the movie. They would not be moving forward with the movie. I don't really know why. I don't know if they gave a reason. I don't think so. I think Kiara cast it on her Instagram, "I'm so sorry." And I was like, girl, don't apologize. It's not your fault. You know, if they don't want to make it, they don't want to make it. And they didn't want to make it. So there will be no Selection movie. I think Netflix is holding on to the rights for a few more years. But honestly, like, how many other production studios are there that could make it? Because it's been with CW, Warner Brothers, Netflix. Who else is there? HBO, maybe? I think that's a thing. Sorry, let me just put on my chapstick. I got this today from the store. I realized that I prefer chapsticks with a opening like this much more than normal chapsticks that are like this. I feel like these are just not as nourishing to me, and my mom bought it for me because this is an expensive one. For some reason, the ones with this tube format are way more expensive, and it has a little bit of color, as you can see, a little bit of red. I just really, really like chapstick. For some reason, sometimes I get into these chapsticks obsessions. I don't know. And also, I got a new bracelet today. Now that we're talking about new things, now that we've established that the selection is not going to be a thing, I couldn't be, well, like, I couldn't care less. Is what I want to say. Because, like, I don't really care about the selection. I think it would make a terrible show and a terrible movie. I don't think it would translate good on screen, because the world is really weird. And the book isn't that good, so I just don't think it would be good. But anyway, I got this new bracelet, and I actually did a new setup that I can see my camera feed right there. I put like a mirror behind the camera so I can see, you know what I mean? Because I couldn't see myself before, so now I can see if I'm in frame. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner, but it's little turtleses, because we have turtleses, and we went to the turtle store to get some turtle supplies. And then they sold these bracelets. My mom and I, we both got one, so now we have matching friendship turtle bracelets. And I really like it. I think it's really cute. It matches with my other bracelets that I have on. Okay. How do you like my new turtles bracelet? Let me know in the comments. Just leave everything in the comments. I love comments, okay? Just, I don't really like the ones where they're like, fuck you, you're rude and shit like that. I get that a lot, but whatever. It happens, you know? Anyway, we have another movie that is, of course, coming out soon. Allegedly, or maybe not. And that is the It Ends With Us movie with Blake Lively, the Colleen Hoover book. In case you didn't know, I think everybody that is here knows, and if you don't, then now you know. And it's not that bad, like, it's not that big of a deal if you didn't know before. I don't want to make anyone feel bad if they didn't know, and that's not what I meant, okay? I'm just saying that this movie is highly anticipated within the community, and a lot of people have been going cray cray. They've been saying, we can't wait for this movie. Colleen Hoover, no matter what you say about her, she has a ton of stans and a ton of fans that will support her until the day she fucking dies. But I do have to say, the other day I was at the bookstore, and they always had a screen, or not a screen, how do you say, like a display of Colleen Hoover books. And it was exclusively Colleen Hoover books. And it says, I think it said like, as seen on booktok or something like this. And I always found it weird, because I just feel like the German bookstores are a little bit more progressive. I don't really know, actually. I just felt like if they saw it on booktok that it got so much hate, they maybe would take it down. Obviously, they still sell her books. They were still in the store, and they were still on the shelf, but it wasn't like a display with like, Colleen Hoover, get Colleen Hoover, and inviting more people to read her books, which I thought was a good thing. Maybe they just kind of changed the books out a little bit, because they were just told to do that, and then later are going to bring Colleen Hoover back onto a display. I don't really know. Maybe they're just removing things around. But I was pleasantly surprised by seeing this, because I always go into this bookstore. And actually, one time, I asked them for a job when I was like 17. I was like, hey, can I work here? And this was like around Christmas. I was like, can I work here? Do you need some? No, it wasn't. Was it around Christmas? I don't know. But I was like, do you just need someone to work here? And they were like, no. And then I cried at home, because I really wanted to work at a bookstore. So I'm hoping that when I'm done with my degree that I'm studying right now, which is marketing, that I can start doing something for a book company. I think that would be really fun. But I think they would be like, so what experience do you have? Like, do you read? I'll be like, yeah, you know, I do read. And they're going to be like, what's your favorite book? And I'm just going to be sitting there like, Favorite book? And I just start sweating, I just walk out. No, but I think that would be really fun. I can judge books objectively, okay? I can do that. I'm just a hater. But we were talking about It Ends With Us, of course. We're talking about Colleen Hoover. So a lot of pictures from set have leaked of the actors in their costumes. I think Blake Lively's hair looks absolutely terrible. The shade of red, I just don't think she looks good as a ginger. Peace and love. And also the outfits that they're putting her in is an eyesore, as you would say in English. Maybe? I don't know how they say. I don't know if they say. That's what they're saying. Probably, maybe not. They're absolutely terrible. I don't know if you've seen them. If you haven't, you should Google it. You should look it up. Because I would put them in the video, but I don't know if I'm allowed. Because it's like leaks, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to get in trouble of showing like footage from a movie that's not released. I don't know if that's a thing, but I just don't know. And in Germany, the laws are way stricter. I would love to do like movie reviews of book movies. I've mentioned this before. I've done a Ruby Red review of the movie, and I put my own subtitles on it. And that video was like, I couldn't make any money on it. It was limited. You couldn't even watch it in Germany and other countries because the copyright law in Germany is just different and a little bit more strict. So I just took it down. But I even had a review for the second movie filmed. Because all 3 movies got filmed. They all got made into a fucking movie. From Germany. Germany did that. Love Germany. Peace and love. Love you. Shout out. I think that people were like saying, oh, what did you expect from this movie? The main character, her name is Lily Bloom. In case you haven't read It Ends With Us, her name is Lily Bloom, and she opens a flower shop. And people have said, oh, she opened a steampunk flower shop. What did you expect her to dress like? Because she looks really funky in her fucking clothes on set. They just don't match at all. I just, like, you can make her dress a little funky, but I don't understand how this is gonna... I just don't get the vibe, okay? From the fucking photos. And what happened now is they've been filming a lot, and you can even see full clips of them filming the movie, like scenes and shit like that, which is insane to me. Why are they doing that in the open? Is it just so they can get promotion and people are going to talk about it? I don't really know. But if you don't know, there's a writer's strike going on in America at the moment. Shout out America. And the writers are basically saying, I don't really know that much about it, okay? But the writers are saying, we're striking, we're not writing you anything. And this is halting a lot of productions because obviously you need writers to write your shit. And if you don't have them, who's going to write your shit? You don't know how to do that. And so a lot of companies, or a lot of productions have been halted. And now it finally also hit It Ends With Us. I'm not sure how this relates to the movie because they've already been filming it, so I would think that the script is already done, but maybe for rewrites and stuff like that, again, I'm not really sure. This is an American thing. Shout out America. I only know when the Deutsche Bahn strikes. I only know when our train provider strikes. I'm not getting anywhere and it's really fucking annoying. That's the only striking that I know. So the movie has been shut down indefinitely, or the movie production has been shut down indefinitely because of the writer's strike, which means that no production is happening at the moment. They're not filming anything, they're not doing anything related to the movie, and indefinitely means that they don't know for how long. And it could be, which I don't think that this is going to happen, but it could be that they're not going to continue filming. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they will continue filming because why the fuck wouldn't they? They've already started. But you never really know with these types of things what's going to happen. Just as with the fucking Selection movie. We thought we were getting a fucking Selection movie. Okay? And we didn't. And I'm still mad about it. I want to see America, bitch. Naming your main character America in a dystopian world where the country is not called America anymore. You know, it's just... I love America. It's so patriotic, as you would say. Eagles. Go Eagles! I don't know. That's like the American animal, so whatever. Before we talk about the author drama, I want to talk about the hot dude drama, because that's a little less. That's like a 2 or 3 sentence thing. When I wanted to film this video, I just looked up on TikTok booktok drama. That's all I looked up. And for some reason, and I didn't get this drama, which just shows you that it's stupid. They are and by they I mean the booktok community are attacking a dude that's reading. By the way, can you see my plant? I bought this today, and it's fucking purple. I don't know how well you can see the color on camera. I think this is such a slay fucking plant, and it already has a fucking spider web in it. Whatever. I just love this plant so much. I've never seen I've seen plants that were purple, but this purple is so pretty. You can't even see it because I'm in front of it. Hey God. Hey God. There's a dude on TikTok, his name is Zach. And he's really hot, apparently. I looked him up. If you look up booktok drama Zach, he'll probably pop up. I need to stop the German. He's a very generic dude. I'm not saying he's ugly. He just looks like a dude. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of dudes on booktok. Not as many as women. Peace and love, there's more women on booktok than men, but there's a few. I always see one. And he's always in his car, and he recently read Fourth Wing. Fuck off. Get the fuck out. He always is in his car, and then he like kinda, I don't know his name, okay, because I don't care. But I get him on my For You page, and he'll film like from below, and he has really white teeth, and he'll be like, oh my God, I'm reading Fourth Wing at the moment. He's American, of course. I'm reading Fourth Wing at the moment, and oh my God, and he will say the most generic shit. He will say like, Satan is so hot. Or he will say, what's the main character's name again from Fourth Wing? I forgot her name already. No, I genuinely did. I was trying to be funny, but I really did. Well, anyway, what the fuck is her name? Wait, I have to look it up. Her name, Violet? Yes, her name is Violet. I was like, in my head, I just had Poppy, because we're going to talk about Poppy from Blood and Ash later. So, Violet, and he'll say like, oh my God, Violet is so badass. She just got her dragon, she's so badass. He'll say shit like that. And he's also very beloved, because he just shares your opinion. And so, a lot of people were saying, and I didn't see them say this, I just saw people defending Zach, which is the hot dude that's getting hate. Apparently he was getting hate, because I didn't see any of it. I don't know if they make this up or whatever, but they were hating on him because he just held up Echotarn, was like, this is my current read, and then everyone in the comments was like, I want you, like, I'm gonna suck it till my throat hurts and shit like that. And then people were like, well, you're probably not even reading it, you're just saying this to get followers, and then you're gonna switch up and do thirst traps once you've reached like 500,000 subscribers or whatever. I don't really know what they were saying. I don't really get it. But people came to his defense. They were like, let people read. Everything that gets people to read is a good thing. Okay. I didn't think he was that cute. You know what I mean? And the thing is, there's a lot of teenage girls on booktok. And so if they see a man reading, they're just gonna freak out regardless. But apparently people were also saying, oh my God, there's like no men on booktok. I'm so happy he's here. And it just made me think of that dude that's like, says very generic things all the time, whose name I don't know. But peace and love to him, you know, you keep slaying. And it also reminds me of when people just say shit and you know that you don't really know what they're talking about. I have this one German influencer who I follow sporadically, because I don't really follow any influencers. That's not really my vibe. I also don't follow any celebrities. I just follow everything in general. Like, all the drama that happens. It doesn't matter if I know the people. Just if it's drama, I just kind of follow it. And so, there's this one German influencer. And she's like 20 years old. No. How old is she? Like 21, 22, whatever. She's in her early 20s. Fuck off. Peace and love. I told you to get up. No, she's 20. She just turned 20 and she's already married. She married a dude. And they hang out 24/7. Since they've gotten together, they've only ever been with each other. They don't really have any other friends. And she kind of kept him private. And now she showed him publicly, because they're going on to events and stuff. And so she was like, we're just gonna show his face, blah, blah, blah. Because now that we're going on to events and going out in public, people are gonna recognize us. And so we just want to, like, there's no point really anymore. And he started his own account now, where he posts, like, content, and I don't care about this man, but he posted, like, a skincare routine, and then she reposted it, the influencer reposted it, and she was like, I'm so proud of him for doing this, I appreciate it so much, because there's, like, no men doing this. And there are. You know what I mean? So I just that's the same. I don't really know. Why did I talk about this? This is the same vibe as these people talking with the dude where they're like, "Oh, there's no men on BookTok." There are. You just don't care about them. You just don't know. Why are you talking if you don't know? Actually, I know why you are. Because that's something I do too. I just like to be involved. I'm gonna kill this fucking fly. Can you see it? I killed it. I'm sorry. I'm a murderer. Oh my god. So I don't even know if you can call this real drama. It's just something that's been going on. And again, I didn't really see any of the hate videos. I only saw the positive responses to it. So was there really ever any hate? I don't know. Shout out to Zach. Keep doing you, king. But I'll have a close eye on you. Because, I don't know, maybe someone needs to have a close eye on him. I don't know. Now that we've talked about that, the most recent drama, that's literally like from a couple days ago or whatever, let's talk about the drama that happened at the beginning of the month. And I like talking about this because I've seen people say that they don't have TikTok available where they are, or they are not on BookTok and they just don't hear anything about it. And I think it's always interesting to see what people get mad about. And so there was this incident at the beginning of the month, and I think if you are on BookTok, you definitely heard about this. It was a reviewer giving an arc that she got 4 stars. And this review was on a book called 3 Rivers by Sarah Stusek. Stusek? Stusek. I don't know where she's from. America, but I don't know where her last name is from, so Stusek? Stusek? We don't know. Whatever. She probably doesn't even know how to pronounce it correctly, so it doesn't matter. Sarah has written a book. This is her debut novel. She's publishing this in November, and she sent out arcs to reviewers. And there was a reviewer named Carly who reviewed the book and gave it 4 stars. I'm going to read out the review to you without any background information of the reaction of the author, which you can already guess. But again, it was a 4-star review. Almost 5 stars. And I personally think that 4-star reviews are even better, because 5 stars is like an A+. How do you fucking get that? Whatever. This reviewer wrote, "This was a really great first novel. Stella's experiences were obviously based off of a true story of the author, and I loved how intricate the details about the show Stella was on were, LOL. The ending was kind of predictable, but other than that, this was incredible. Period." That is it. That's like a 3 sentence review, which I could have definitely done if you sent me an arc. You know, peace and love, I could have given you 4 sentences even. But again, it was a positive review. She didn't say anything negative besides the ending was kind of predictable. And again, 5 stars is difficult to reach, I think. I mean, some people don't really take their rating that seriously, where they're just throwing out 5 stars if they enjoyed the book. And that's fine if that's the style of review that you want to do. But obviously, Carly isn't that type of person. Shout out Carly. So, after this 4-star review came out, the author took a screenshot of this review, went onto her TikTok, and decided to post a video saying, first of all, she called the reviewer a bitch. Okay. And then she said about her saying that the ending was predictable. It is based off her own life, of a true story. She said, "Well, it's my life, not a murder mystery. What the fuck did you expect? Because it's predictable." Okay, and then she also said, "Okay, you thought it was incredible, but you only give it 5 stars? Yeah, give it 5, bitch." Obviously, she made this in a video. She took it down. You can still find it if you look online. Her tone of voice is very much not of a person who's joking, but who's being genuine. If she is joking, which she later insinuates that she was joking in the situation, you couldn't tell by just watching this. You couldn't tell that this was supposed to be a little silly Billy joke. It wasn't in the moment. This was probably just deflection on her side. Anyway, the video was taken down, or it was put under community guidelines. Goodreads made it so you couldn't review the book anymore. I'm pretty sure you can do it now, because again, this was at the beginning of the month, so this was 19 days ago. It was literally happened on the 1st of June. So Goodreads stopped people from reviewing it, because after she published this video bashing the reviewer for giving her 4 stars, guys, 4 stars. I give all the books I read 1 star, okay? Someone should come out and say shit about me. I can fight. Goodreads stopped people from reviewing her book because she was getting review bombed with 1 stars. I think this was absolutely justified in this situation, because if you come out and you're a bitch about it, about a 4-star review, you deserve to get 1-star reviewed, even if people haven't read your book. This is a completely different situation from Lightlark, you know, where people were... because, again, the author from Lightlark, she wasn't insulting anyone. She was just lying about what was in her book, and people were disappointed. You don't have to go review bomb then. But in situations like this, I get it. Because you were bullying, you're gonna get bullied back. Sending her death threats? Unnecessary. We're not doing that. We're not sending anyone death threats. Peace of love. Like, that's not okay. But getting 1-star reviews on Goodreads is okay, in my opinion. You know, I would have done it too. But I didn't, because I was feeling nice. She made another video after she received so much backlash. I don't really know what she was expecting when she made her video, where she was like, oh, you only give it 4 stars if you liked it so much, and saying like, oh, it's my life. It's my life, not a murder mystery. She made a video saying she is a comedian and people should leave if they can't take a joke. And the inflection of voice in that is also very odd. Why she would think that this was okay and this was a suitable way to respond to the hate that she was receiving. She just sounds very condescending in all of her TikToks, and she put in her bio professional comedian, and I don't know if this was before or if she already had it in, or if she put it after, but either way it's kind of weird to put that in. And the thing is, she was then dropped by her publisher after all of this happened. So after she felt the need to criticize a reviewer for giving her a 4-star review, and in turn she was dropped by her publisher. So maybe just shut your fucking mouth. How can you not be content about a 4-star review? I really don't get it. Even if you got a 1-star review, and this is always, for some reason, whenever I talk about situations like this, it's always the debut novels, the debut authors that have not published before. And this has happened so many times, and I feel like if you are in the book space, you probably have heard about an incident like this at least once. And I don't know why no one tells them just stay out of it. Just stay out of it. And if you want to look at just the positive reviews, then do that. But why the fuck did you feel the need to make a video about it? It wasn't funny. The person that made the review said she felt attacked, and she felt disappointed by the author, and she wanted an apology, but she never got one. And I saw that there was a comment under one of the author's videos. They're all limited now, and she deletes the bad ones. But at the time where people were saying, why don't you just apologize to the reviewer? And she commented back, why are you so obsessed with me? And she just feels, she's on a high horse, and I fucking hate her. I hate Sarah Stusek. She posted a TikTok, because I kind of went in to see what was going on with her, and she posted a TikTok where she said, I hit 100k on this app, made 35k in 2 days, upgraded my publisher, and now have 2 books coming out this year. It's 6 seconds, babe, just do it. I think it's because she posted a video to a fucking sound or whatever. I don't get it. Upgraded my publisher so someone else took her in. Why would you want someone like this under contract with you? Why would you want this? Why would you want to do this to yourself? Any publicity is good publicity, I guess. You know, I study marketing, I know. I know a thing or two. I actually don't know anything, but I don't know why I would want to represent someone like that in my, in a contract. She just seems like a terrible person. Her name on TikTok is @SarahShoots with 3 O's. Again, she's taking down those videos, the one where she said, I'm a comedian, and also where she criticizes the reviewer, but you can find them online if you look on TikTok and probably on Twitter too. I think it's terrible, and I think this woman is a fucking bitch. You call her a bitch, I'm gonna call you a bitch. You know, peace and love. Women support women, but not if you are gonna act like a fucking bitch. Peace and love. Listen, I filmed that first part last week, basically, or last weekend, last Saturday. Now it's Saturday again, and I feel really bad because someone asked in the comments, don't know if you're here or if you're too disappointed in me, someone asked in the comments and was like, hey, when are you gonna do a next episode on your podcast? And I was like, oh, this weekend. And that was last week. So I have a good reason though. I was sick. Maybe you can hear it. But I hate when people say that and they're like, if you hear my voice, like, excuse my voice, I'm sick. It's like, I can't even hear, I don't even know how you sound normally. And I don't think I sound sick. It's just my nose is stuffed, okay? I was really sick the past few days, over the whole week, basically. My nose was running the whole time. It was running away, you know. I was coughing up a bunch, and so I was not able to continue filming, and I felt so bad. I was kind of stumped all week. What do I mean, kind of? I was stumped all week. All week I was like, I have to get better so I can finish this fucking podcast. Literally, the night I stopped filming the last part, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to bed. Like, I'm sweating. I don't feel good. And then I wake up the next morning, I'm sick, and I'm like, fuck. Why didn't I just finish filming it? So we're here now. Okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna finish this. All we have to talk about is Jennifer Armentrout, which is probably like the most interesting topic out of all of this. So I'm sorry I didn't get ready or anything. I was like, okay, feel fine now. I'm just gonna sit down how I look. This is how I look with my t-shirt. My mom has been telling me every time she sees this that she's gonna throw it away, and she hasn't yet. So I'm very happy about that because this is very comfortable for me. It's ugly, but it's comfortable. So didn't even brush the hair. I just got back from work. Yeah, that was another thing I had to do. I hate working. Anyway, I mentioned work in every episode. Y'all know by now. Okay, so Jennifer Armentrout. Okay, let's just keep it going. Obviously, a week hasn't passed for you since the last clip. Just a second. So let's go, okay? Jennifer Armentrout. Very interesting story today. I actually asked ChatGPT about controversies that Jennifer has been in, and it couldn't tell me any. None came up, which is really interesting because she's been in some. Well, for me at least. So Jennifer Armentrout is 43 years old, and she's a Gemini, like my mom. Love you, Mom. She's outside. She can probably hear me. So I don't know anything about Geminis. I just know my mom. I heard they're two-faced, like Gemini. Like, why is it called Gemini? In German, the star sign is called Zwilling, and Zwilling is twin. Okay? Which makes way more sense. Gemini? What the fuck is a Gemini? I don't know. So my mom's not two-faced, though. Maybe Jennifer Armentrout is. Allegedly. I don't know. She has written over 60 books, which is insane. And the first book came out in 2011. So some of you maybe not. Imagine, I was going to say, some of you have not been born yet. In 2011, that would mean you're 12 years old. Why are you here? No one's 12 years old and watching this, I hope at least. And it was called Half-Blood from the it was called Half-Blood, period. And it was from the Covenant series, which I personally don't know. Maybe some of you have read it. I have not heard of it prior to this. So sometimes I just have to check if I'm actually filming. I get paranoid. And she has written series like From Blood and Ash, which I reviewed on my channel, the first book. The Luck series, which I did read when I was younger. I read the first book. And then I didn't continue because I think the two people get together in the first book and I just didn't give a fuck about the series anymore. The Dark Element series, which when I was younger, I always wanted to read that because they had really pretty like metallic covers in German. But I never ended up reading it, and many standalones, and also other series, obviously, like the Covenant series and shit like that. She's written a lot of books, and all her covers are the fucking same. I'm too lazy to transfer this picture to my PC, so I'm just going to show you on my phone. So just look up right now. Just look at me right now, okay? Because I'm too lazy to get this from my phone onto the PC. It's too much work. Can you see this? Her covers? These are all different books, and they all look the same. So the top one is something that I don't know what that is. Then this one is a Flesh and Fire novel. When whatever the fuck Flesh and Fire is. Flesh and Fire, Flesh and Fire. Flesh and Fire. And the two on the bottom, they are From Blood and Ash. Okay? And the top one, I don't know what that is. Maybe that's a standalone, Fall of Ruin and Wrath. I don't know what that is because it doesn't say on the cover if that's part of a series or anything. This is all the same fucking cover to me. Like, I would not be able to tell the fucking difference. And I think they suck. I think they're ugly. And it's not just the covers that are the same, but also her fucking books. I don't know how many books you've read from her, how many series, but for me, I remember, you know, I read the fucking Lux book. I think it's called Obsidian. I read that when I was 13, 14. And that was a long time ago. Okay, I'm 22 now. And I still remember that it had the same vibe as From Blood and Ash, which I read like I don't know when I read that. Go watch the review. Go watch the review. It's a good review, I think. I just remember sitting in my room with gloves on because it was in winter. It was really cold in my room. I had gloves on and eating string cheese. That was like my first video back, because I think in 2021 I didn't post that many videos, or like 2 or 3 reviews. I just wasn't posting, and then last year I picked it up again. But From Blood and Ash, it was like my comeback video at the end of the year, and it was a terrible book. I was so sad because so many people hyped it up on booktok. So I hated that book. I think that her books, and obviously I have only read 2 of them, and I'm saying all of her books, but in my opinion, all of her books feel and read the same. From the story, from the characters, the kind of, she has one formula and she keeps doing it over and over again. From Blood and Ash, you have like you have the girl that doesn't know who she really is. That's like basic YA, but she does it every single time. She doesn't try to do something different. She has werewolves or vampires in her books, or aliens, deluxe series of aliens, and then the strong man saves the weak girl who doesn't know that she's actually someone really, really special with special powers and whatever. I don't know if deluxe girl is, I don't even remember her. I just remember that the dude was called Damon Black. The main love interest in the Black series was called Damon Black. And I think that's all you need to know about that series. Damon Black? Damn. That is a dark name. An evil name of a main baddie character. But yeah. So you can comment that down below. In my opinion, she's a very uncreative writer. Peace and love. Okay, with Peace and Love I say this because obviously she's written over 60 books. It's gonna get repetitive at some point, but I feel like it's all the same. All the same she writes. And I once really tried to read From Blood and Ash. I tried to continue reading that series with the second book, and I've started it so many times that I cannot read it. Fun fact about that, the first and the second book came out in the same year. I think they both came out in 2022 or 2021. One of those. I don't remember exactly, but I saw that they came out the same year. And that explains why the second book is so ass. And so, I just don't understand how authors can publish 2 books from their major series in 1 year. Because it's in a hype, obviously, but that's why they're doing it. But take your fucking time. I've said it with Fourth Wing, the second book of that series, where that's so hyped on booktok right now. Is also coming out in November. They just revealed the cover. I think it's ugly. But I'm in the minority of that, so we're not gonna talk about it because I don't want to get people mad. So she has no children, which Jennifer Almentrout has no children. JLA. I can't say that. I was like, Jennifer Almentrout is a mouthful to say. I'm gonna call her Jenny. Okay, Jenny has no children, which I thought was interesting because I feel like a lot of authors don't have children. Like Sandra Clare is also a huge author that doesn't have any children, and Sarah J. Maas has children. That's it. That's all the that's all the authors I know. Sorry, guys. I don't know. I just feel like I thought it was interesting that she's a author with major series and she doesn't have any children, just like Cassandra Clare. But whatever, you know, to each their own. I don't judge. About children, I don't judge. Listen, I was at work today. Okay, this child, I don't know why it was at a cash register behind me with my colleague because I'm a cashier. Beep beep beep, and this kid starts screaming, crying, and I don't know what happened because I wasn't taking care of them. Screaming, crying, and sometimes I don't know if I want to have children if I'm older. I'm sorry, because like if it's your own children, it's different. You know what I mean? But I'm too young to think about this. Okay, whatever. So, what I found was interesting on her biography on her website. She has a biography. Yeah, yeah. And if you read that, like the 3rd sentence states, all the rumors you've heard about her state aren't true. And this line comes right after them saying that she lives in West Virginia. Maybe. You know, it's been a week since I looked this up. Let me see if I'm lying. Yeah, she says she lives in Shepherdstown, West Virginia, which I don't know if you should say the town you're from or the city you're from. Like, I'm gonna come, period, and then I'm gonna come visit you. In West Virginia, and then it says all the rumors you've heard about her state aren't true. So then it made me think, like, do they mean West Virginia, or do they mean her like mental state or her health state? Like, what state do they mean? Do they mean West Virginia or her? Because for me that's not clear. Because later they talk about her health, but can anyone tell me? What, and I don't know what rumors, because I couldn't find any. So I was like, okay, they gotta mean West Virginia, but what rumors are there about West Virginia?
I'm not American. I don't know. What do they say about West Virginia? I couldn't even place it on a fucking map. You know what I mean? If you gave me a map of the United States, I would put it somewhere in the west probably, but I don't know where. So, someone clear that up, please. But as I said, they do mention her health, and what's really interesting is that she has a genetic disorder and she's slowly going blind. And I was not aware of this. Well, why would I be? But I didn't know about this. She has some other issues that are not clarified, and she is slowly going blind because of this disorder. She doesn't know how quickly it's gonna happen, but she wants to keep writing books as long as possible, which makes me believe that she's gonna try to pull like a Beethoven, and she's gonna keep writing even if she's blind, which is a slay, of course, because like, why not? Like, why would going blind stop you from writing? You can still keep doing it, queen. You're slaying already. Maybe you're gonna write better books then. She has won many awards for her silly books, along with the romance award for Goodreads romance. Oh yeah, so the books were published in 2022 because, no, what the fuck, 2020, the From Blood and Ash, because she won the 2020 romance award from Goodreads or whatever, which made me think the book was good, but that was when I still trusted Goodreads reviews or Goodreads awards. They're silly. She doesn't deserve any. Oh no, wait, that's mean. She doesn't deserve any for From Blood and Ash because that book was bad, but other books I can't judge. So before we talk about the drama surrounding the War of Two Queens, which is the fourth book in the From Blood and Ash series, I want to talk about a little story that I found while Googling and seeing if she's been in any trouble and drama. And it's a story that I find very interesting. It's from a blog post, and a person made this because there is a person called Jenny Trout. And Jenny Trout is not Jennifer L. Armentrout. Before this story even takes place, the Lux series itself has been criticized a lot in the past because I have to read this out because I don't know this that well. I do, however, trust the person who wrote this. They seem very credible. Just to me, you know, I'm just gonna believe them because why shouldn't I? So they wrote the Lux series, okay? This is the one of her first major hits. The Lux series is about a girl who moves to a new town where she meets a boy with strange powers, such as the ability to heal, stop time, shapeshift, and leave marks on humans with a touch. Turns out he's an alien, as I already mentioned. And this is the same as a Warner Brothers show called Roswell from the 90s, which I don't know the show, and I'm sure that a lot of people who are watching this were not born, like, obviously not all of them, but some people were born in the 90s, but a lot of people who are watching this maybe weren't born in the 90s and are not aware of this show, especially not if you're not American. I think this is this just gives me America vibes, you know what I mean? And, Jennifer L. Armentrout has admitted that Roswell has been, or had been, a big inspiration for her work as the Lux series, okay? Because there were apparently a lot of similarities between the show and her book, and so in interviews and stuff she has said, yeah, I was inspired by that, blah, blah, blah. But the similarities are very, very similar. Like, they are very, the similarities are similarly, okay? And most people who read her books now probably won't know about the show, as I didn't. I think there was also a reboot more recently, like in the more recent years. That's alleged. So again, I don't know anything about Roswell. I've never heard about the show. But it doesn't end there. The first Covenant book that I mentioned earlier that was published in 2011, that book has a lot of similarities to The Vampire Academy. The Vampire Academy is another book I never read, or a book series I never read. I know there was a show or a movie, either or, and I never consumed that. I never cared about The Vampire Academy, but it went so far that most people who mention it, or who review the book, The Covenant, the first book, and are familiar with the work of the Vampire Academy, will say, hey, this is kind of like weirdly similar. This reads weirdly the same. So I'm not saying she's plagiarizing anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she's taking very big inspiration from other works and putting it into her work. Now, of course, this was a long time ago. Lux series and Covenant series came out a long time ago. But why the fuck did I mention Jenny Trout? That was kind of random, right? Because, like, okay, they have similar names, but whatever. Well, in 2006, there was an author who published their first book, and it was a vampire romance book. and it was a mega success. The name of this author was Jennifer Lynn Armentrout. But it was not Jennifer L. Armentrout, it was Jennifer Lynn Armentrout. And if you're wondering, the Lynn in L, like the L, also stands for Lynn. But this author, her last name was spelled with an I instead of an E in Armentrout. Okay? So their names are basically the same. I think the Lynn, for one of them, is also spelled with an E at the end, and the other one doesn't have it, but I don't know which one. They basically have the same name. Okay? They basically have the same name, and she's also an author. The other Jenny Trout is what I'm calling her. And I'll tell you why in a second. So, she published her first book in 2006. So, 5 years before JLA comes onto the market. It's a big success. She had a very unique name, and this is of course super important for authors. If I were to publish a book, I would have to take up a pen name, probably because my name is very generic, and so you want to have people recognize you with the name that you choose. With Cassandra Clare, Jennifer Armentrout is a very special name. You remember it, right? If it's not like some Sarah Smith or some shit. No hate to Sarah Smith at this point, but that's a very generic name that you probably won't remember as well. People would, of course, after the other Jennifer Armentrout came onto the market and they started writing similar books with sci-fi or fantasy, they would often confuse the two and congratulate the other for their work, or call up the, I don't know if they called her, but email her, and they would confuse them because their names were basically the same besides the E and I in the name. But you don't really pay attention to that. If you're reading a book, you're not going to be like, you're going to be like, oh, that's a typo or something like this. If you're not super aware that those are two different people. It got to a point where this was so frustrating and annoying that Jennifer Armentrout, the first, the one who was there first in 2006, she changed her name to Jenny Trout, and she did this legally. She didn't just change her name on her books. She got her name legally changed to Jenny Trout, and she kept publishing books under this name. Okay? And I think this is insane, because you were there first, and you were the one to give in to change your name. Because JLA is the one now from Blood and Ash, who just still has the name Jennifer Armentrout. But the other bitch had to change her name. She was there first, okay? And she has allegedly also said, Jenny Trout has allegedly also said, that this has taken a toll on her mental health and everything. That the whole process of getting her name changed and everything was really wearing down on her, which I completely understand. Allegedly, okay? She said this allegedly. I don't have any proof for this. This is all me quoting from the article that I read, or the blog post that I read. Jenny Trout, as I said, kept publishing books, and I think Jenny Trout is still a very similar name to Jennifer Armentrout, obviously. And she even published a book in 2018 that had two silhouettes on the cover, okay? So it was a boy and a girl, but without features. It was just their black figure, basically, like their silhouettes, as I said. And then, funny enough, in 2019, the beginning of 2019, so she changed her, she published a book with those covers in 2018. In the beginning of 2019, a few months later, Jennifer L. Armentrout, who didn't change her name, who came second, decided to change the covers for her Lux series that existed, that she published a few years ago, into people with silhouettes on the cover. Did that make sense? She changed her name. She changed her fucking covers after Jenny published a new book, completely new in 2018. Jennifer L. Armentrout decides, okay, I'm gonna redesign my covers from the Lex series and put silhouettes on it. Can you leave this woman alone? Peace and love. Peace and love. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be as weird if that wasn't already a history with the two of them. It could be a coincidence, you know what I mean? Maybe it is. Allegedly, she's doing it on purpose. I'm not saying she is, allegedly. I think this is insane. That she's going this hard. Fucking Jenny. You know, I'm on Jenny's side in this. It's very interesting, this whole topic, because I'm gonna basically read this out to you. But the person who published this blog post, they have said that they work in... I don't know what it's called in English. They help people find their families. If they don't know their... I don't know how to explain this. They've helped them find their lost family and stuff like that. So they know a thing or two about finding people with very few informations, looking at birth records and stuff like that, finding out real names basically is what they're good at. Which is interesting that they take up this because they thought to themselves, okay, this whole story is kind of weird that the original Jennifer L. Armentrout had to change her name to Jenny Trout and the other one got to keep the name. Like, how big can the coincidence be that two women were born in the same year and then both went on to become authors with the same pen name? It's kind of weird. So he decided to do some digging on the whole name thing. He confirmed that Jennifer L. Armentrout I was indeed born as Jennifer Lynn Armentrout. He said, or they said, sorry, I don't know who wrote this article, they said that it was relatively easy to find because this person was born under this name. He had no trouble finding it. He confirmed it within minutes. They confirmed it within minutes, I'm sorry. But he could not confirm the same for our Jennifer L. Armentrout II, who wrote From Blood and Ash. He could not do it. So I'm gonna read this out to you because I think this is such a fucking interesting story. So just listen to me, okay? I'm gonna put on my reader voice. I don't have one. I'm just gonna make one up. The person goes on to write, no children of any name or gender were recorded as being born in the town Jennifer L. Armentrout says she was born in, or on the date she says she was born. However, people often fuck around on their date of birth or round up their birthplace to somewhere near to the no-name town they were actually born. So I expanded my search accordingly. In the entire country, I could find only 3 Jennifers born on the exact date. None of them Armentrouts. I was able to find a Jennifer L. Armentrout in the same rough geographical area, but this woman was so much older that I discounted her as a possibility. But a year or 2 age difference seemed reasonable, so I expanded the search. Another Jennifer L. Armentrout, who was nearly the exact right age, lived in another state and died several years ago. I discounted her for obvious reasons. Finally, I found someone with the same legal name sources identify as Jennifer L. Armentrout's current one, who was born in the town she says she was born in, who would go by Armentrout in her personal life beginning sometime between 2011 and 2013, but this person was not born in Armentrout, and I could not find any record of her marrying an Armentrout. There you have it. So, what they're saying is, Jennifer L. Armentrout, who's now publishing as Jennifer L. Armentrout, that is not her real name, allegedly. Okay, this is just me quoting this. This is just me getting off of this. They said that they could find her legal name online, and they were able to find it out because they have their fucking sources, and that's kind of the job that they do, or pretty much the job that they do, but they did not want to disclose her actual legal name because that's private, and I respect that. Obviously, I don't care about her legal name. I just care if she was born a Jennifer L. Armentrout. But this matches up perfectly with what we have. You have an author that starts publishing in 2011, and they have a pen name, Jennifer L. Armentrout. But I think the story is insane. Like, just imagine. Like, I genuinely don't understand how you could become a new author and then have someone also have the same name and then be like, okay, I'm not gonna change it though. Like, it's not even your legal name. It's not even your legal name, allegedly. Allegedly, you have a different name, and you decide to take up the same name as another author that already exists, is already publishing, to a point where that person who was legally born under the name Jennifer L. Armentrout has to change their name so they don't get confused with you anymore, and it's mentally draining them. That's insane to me. Obviously, we don't know the behind the scenes and what really went down, if they ever had any conversations about it or anything. That information is not disclosed to us, but just the story in itself, I think, is crazy. Don't you think that's crazy? That she was allegedly not even born, Jennifer L. Armentrout, and she just decided, oh, there's a person who published similar work to me, or similar work to what I want to publish, because you weren't even fucking published. I think it's crazy. When I read the story, I was like, oh my god, how mean do you have to be? That poor fucking Jenny, you know? Peace and love goes out to Jenny. So, this is a story that I didn't know about before. Let me know if you had ever heard of this, if you've ever heard anywhere from this, about this. Obviously, this is more undercover. and I found it out because of my research skills for you guys to give you interesting tea. And I'm sweating my ass off again, but this time we're gonna keep filming, okay? I'm sorry, I'm just getting uglier by the second, but whatever, I have to put my app. I'm sweating. If I put on a fan, you're gonna be able to hear it, so I don't really want to do that. And I'm also shiny, but whatever. Love you guys. If you don't want to listen to me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best, at my glammed up. So, you know, let's continue. The last part I want to talk about is the War of Two Queens and the drama around this book, because I remember that this happened last year, the beginning of last year, and it was such a big deal, and I could not find any information about this on TikTok. I saw it all on Twitter. People didn't really talk about it on TikTok, and I think that's really funny, because people on TikTok just love her, okay? The War of Two Queens is the 4th book in a maybe 6-book series, and apparently the order or the number of books that are going to be published has been switched up a couple of times, which I saw because people commented on Goodreads. They commented under the unreleased book. I think the title is announced. They were like, oh, now it's book number 5. Oh, no, it's book number 6. That's only how I know it, which I think is kind of weird. Like, don't you have decided what order or like how many books are going to be in your fucking series? But this book came out in 2022, as I said, and people kiss her feet for Blood and Ash, as we have said. They love Blood and Ash, and so basically she can do no wrong. People love Poppy and Castile. Listen, I still know their names. They haunt me. They haunt me in my fucking dreams, in my nightmares, actually. And I've said before, all her stories feel the same. She doesn't have a good writing style, and she doesn't have a good writing style, period. She can't really write that well, in my opinion, allegedly, in Minecraft. And there were a bunch of issues with the main character, who's supposed to be plus size, and her kind of ignoring that whole thing and not really standing up for the main character, and then the fan art being the main character being skinny, even though she's supposed to be plus size. She didn't really follow through with this until, I think, the 4th book. But the main issue, I'm gonna tell you after I take a zip, okay? A zippy. When the War of Two Queens came out, people were shook because there's a threesome. There's a threesome in that book, and as I said, I've only read the 1st book, so I do know the person that the threesome happens with, or people don't call it a threesome, they're calling it a joining, because apparently the main character, Poppy and Castile, are the 2 main characters. They're having sex, and then the 3rd guy, his name is Kieran, he joins in. Sorry if I spoil you, but whatever, you know? He joins in on them fucking, and it happens allegedly. As I said, I didn't fucking read the book. I kind of want to read it just for the scene. I think the dude, the Castile dude, is away the whole book, and he's the main character. He's like locked up somewhere, and they're trying to get him. And by the end, they get him, and then they fuck. And then the best friend, Kieran is his best friend. He joins in. Fucking him. Oh, I don't think we get any you know, pee-pee and poo-poo scene, but you know, why not actually? Why not? Why are you not getting any of that? The only book that has ever done a love triangle the way it should be done is actually Iron Widow, which I reviewed on my channel. I didn't like that book, but I did like that there was a love triangle, and then the dudes also get together in the love triangle. I was like, okay, slay, this is like good. But the book wasn't good. But I get a lot of hate for saying I didn't like it, because we love the author apparently. But anyway, it wasn't a good book. So, the Poppy and Kieran, who are not the main pairing, they apparently, allegedly, built an emotional connection in that book, which is unforgivable because Poppy and Castile are together forever. I don't know the terms. In the book and the lore, but it's like vampires and werewolves, and Castile is a vampire and Kieran is a werewolf. So I don't know if they fuck in the werewolf form. They should. So people on Twitter especially, okay, this is where I heard all of this, started saying it's because this joining only happened because of the wine moms on Facebook, in a special Facebook group by Jennifer Armentrout. And I was really curious to know about this fucking wine mom group, because some people were saying, oh, this is happening so randomly and this is not okay. This doesn't really make sense for the characters, and other people were saying it's been hinted at for the past few books. So since I haven't read the books, I can't tell you what the truth is, but I can read out some sex scene to you. Do you want to hear it? So Jennifer Armentrout posted herself in this Facebook group. I think this is a Facebook, I don't know what the Facebook group is for spoilers and shit like this. And she posted a scene between Poppy and a man. The man is unidentified. He does not say his name, but this is the only the only excerpt I've ever read of this book. So I'm gonna read it out to you. It's sexual, okay? Be warned. It's really funny. I'm gonna assume that it's the Kieran. I'm gonna assume it's the werewolf, okay? So should I do a werewolf voice? A werewolf voice? That's a difficult word to say. Okay. Excerpt from The War of Two Queens. Wherever you want, I affirmed, on any finger or toe of your choosing. I think he has a British accent. I can have it. Oh, I can't do a British accent though. I can have it pierced to my nipple, or have it melted into a bolt and pierce into my cock. Actually, you might enjoy that. Poppy stared at me. In your cock? I think she talks like that. In your cock? Her cheeks pinking as she tipped forward. That's possible? It is. Wouldn't that piercing hurt to have done? Probably hurts like the fires of the abyss. She glanced down at the ring. A moment passed. And why would I find that enjoyable? Gods. I loved her curiosity. I've heard that many find the rub of the ball that holds the ball against the spot inside to be very pleasurable. Oh. She drew in a deep breath. I can't because I'm sick. And does the wearer of such a piercing find it pleasurable too? Oh yeah. I grinned as the color in her cheeks spread down her throat. Interesting, she murmured, brow creasing once more. Does anyone know what just happened? Because I don't know what just happened. And if I ever read a book like this, I would just not keep reading it. I would demand my money back. I've heard in America you can return basically anything that you want to return, which that's not that easy in Germany, okay? I would return this. I would say that there's explicit content in here and it's poorly done. Who reads this and is like, they're talking about cock piercing. Peace and love, that sucks, okay? So then I have a screenshot from the Facebook group, allegedly, okay? And I found this all on Twitter. So people don't really give you that much information on Twitter. They just say shit on Twitter. And it's a screenshot from allegedly the wine moms talking about the book, okay? And the names are blurred out for privacy reasons. If this is your mom, you know, you don't want to know about it. So one of the moms goes, that doesn't sound right. One of the moms goes, whatever. Chapter 44, which is allegedly where the joining happens. I would sell a piece of my soul for it. I honestly was painful by the vagueness of it. I was on the edge of my seat, wait for the... Kieran entered me? Don't know why, but I really wanted that specific information. Someone comments back to this. This! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation. I was desperate to read this and wanted to know exactly what or who Kieran was doing at all times. What or who Kieran was doing? Ah, okay. Doing Poppy. Or maybe Castile and Kieran were getting it on. Someone comments back to that. Thank God I'm not the only one. As weird as it might be, I want to read specifics of Poppy and Kieran. I love Poppy and Cass, but Poppy and Kieran have a special relationship I absolutely love and want more of. Okay, Mom. Imagine this is your mom. I would not be able to fucking handle that. Okay, so allegedly there's a Facebook group with the moms in it, and a lot of people were mad at Jennifer Armentrout, as I said, for the joining, and the moms just kind of hyped her up for it. They were like, yeah, we want them to fuck, we want them to join, we want them to have to threesome. And then allegedly, and I only found this on TikTok. Now we're getting back to TikTok, because a person that was complaining about it on Twitter made a TikTok about it, okay? And she put these screenshots into her TikTok of Jennifer L. Armentrout allegedly making a statement about this, because people were really calling her out and rating her book negatively because of this whole incident of her writing the joining. And she was getting negative reviews. People were saying, I love this series, but I can't believe she's done this. And so allegedly into the Facebook group, she posts this statement. It's a little bit longer, so I'm going to read it out to you after I take a zip. Okay, this is kind of like a really long statement, and I don't really know what the fuck is going on. I hope she posted this, okay, allegedly, because as I said, I got this off TikTok from a random person, so I'm just, you know, people always hold their microphone. I'm just gonna hold the whole stand. I'm not doing great. Okay, listen. Jennifer Armentrout allegedly says, just had to remove a post at no fault for the OG poster that had really great comments under it, but people kept posting reactions with no spoiler tags, and none of the mods have time to keep deleting comments. Anyone who has read the series will know exactly what you're referencing to. I don't think that's how you write it. So many people are being spoiled, and that is really disheartening, especially since it's from impressions of what happened that aren't actually what occurred in the book. I don't think she posted this because the spelling mistakes are a lot. And hey, reader interpretation is going to vary across the board, but for example, Kieran and Poppy were not flirting with one another while Cass was imprisoned. Because that would be kind of ill. Like, Kieran wouldn't even sleep in his mortal form with Poppy except that one time when she was really upset until Cass returned. There's too much respect there. Because you know what I read? Allegedly, Kieran is black. I don't remember this, okay? I don't remember what the characters looked like in the fucking book. It's been too long. Allegedly, he's black, and he's, like, bound to Cass, who's white. So it's like a... like a slave and master relationship. I read that somewhere. I remember it now, bitch. That makes it even worse. What the fuck? There's too much respect there. Yeah, because he doesn't have a choice, because he's bound to him. He's his master. Girl, that's kind of like a bigger issue that we have to analyze. Oh, and she has a black character in her book called Tawny. And she's black, and isn't Tawny like a word for black? Okay, anyway, but I can't really speak on that because, again, I haven't read more than the first book, and I don't remember that much of it. Leave it in the comments. So, this is not all of the statement. So, it continues. Allegedly, she says, just something I want to say because I see this said a lot about even other series and authors. Fan service is not really a thing because she was being told that she was doing fan service for the Facebook wine moms. But something we like to say, and Lord knows I've said it too, when something we don't like or want happens. The only fan service I give is a HEA. What is an HEA at the end of the series? Someone tell me what an HEA is. An Imagine? Like in One Direction Imagine? That's the unspoken promise I make readers with all books. I don't add or write anything to... I don't know what that word is supposed to be. It's cut off at the side. To appeal maybe to one group over the other, because I write first and foremost what I want to write. I have to, as does most authors, because fan servicing only ends in driving yourself mad trying to appease one group knowing you're upsetting another group. It will kill the joy of writing, and I know, trust me, that there are people who will not believe that, and that's kind of sad, because I know why I write and what I write. But for those who need evidence, several people knew from the beginning what would and wouldn't happen, and have known for years. She lists them. I build towards knowing some people wouldn't be fans of it, and that's okay. But that feeling doesn't change how or why what did or didn't happen. She cannot... Why is she writing like this? This is so difficult to read for me. Yeah, best-selling author, my ass. Okay, I need to shut. I was gonna give a disclaimer, like, guys, I'm still a little bit sick, as you can see. I don't look the best. I'm going full maniac. I'm going absolutely insane in this episode. I cannot sit still for some reason. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm being really annoying right now. All I ask is that you're mindful of how you speak of relationships you may not find common. And that's not saying she's a swinger, guys, allegedly. I feel like that's the vibe we're getting. And that's not saying there is a relationship here, but these are fictional characters. That's true. While there are very real people in this group who don't live messy, cheap, or less than lives. Okay, sis, just say that you're a swinger and go. Peace and love. Allegedly. I want you all to be able to talk about the book, but we have to stop posting thoughts, feelings, etc. in reaction without burying the comment. Anyway, I'm now gonna go. I'm now gonna try to celebrate release and also finish another book. Okay. What the fuck? What the fuck did I just read out to you guys? She basically said, to sum it up, I was not doing fan service. That was really poorly written, by the way, that statement. Peace and love. I was not doing fan service. I always knew this was going to happen, the joining. And don't be mean, because people were being mean in the Facebook group. The moms were being mean to each other. I always knew I wanted to write it like this. And you don't even know. You know nothing, basically, is what they said. Interesting, okay. So, my opinion on this whole topic is that Jennifer Armentrout cannot write, good books. That's my opinion. I don't think that any of her work is outstanding. I think her work is very generic, and I think that nowadays anyone can get famous, and nowadays anyone can get famous with TikTok. And back in the day, in 2011, when she published her first book, anyone could get famous if you wrote a bad boy romance, and it was supernatural. So she did that with the Lux series, and don't mind me, I'm just on my phone now because I'm bored. Anyway, I just don't like Jennifer Armentrout. I don't know if I'll ever read another one of her books. If I'll continue the From Blood and Ash series, probably not, because it's really boring. The second book is really boring me, and I don't care enough about the characters. I think it's really bad. I think the series is really bad. And if you like the series, you know, that's fine, because I don't even know if people are still watching this, like, at this point, and are like, okay, I'm gonna click off because you insulted my favorite author. But if you like the series, it's fine. You know what I mean? It's not like a series where I'm like, okay, this is, like, harmful to anyone. If you like it, you like it. It's not like Colleen Hoover, where I'm actually like, okay, you're actually promoting something harmful to people. I think that, with From Blood and Ash, it's fine. It's fine if you like that series. I don't really mind. I just don't think Jennifer Armentrout is a good writer. And also the story that I just told you about, the whole name-changing story, is also really insane to me. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, what you thought about this. I don't know what my next read is going to be. I'm sorry, I'm trying to wrap this up because I'm really sweating my ass off, you know, and I can't feel myself getting sicker and sicker by the minute. That's what I do for you guys. No, I'm kidding. But I'm really warm. I want to turn on my fan. My fan? Where's my fan? Are you guys my fans? But yeah, I don't know what my next read is. I still haven't read anything after finishing whatever the fuck I read last. What did I read last? Fourth Wing? Let me look it up. I do think it was Fourth Wing. I wanted to read Crave because I've seen a few people suggest that to me, and I think that would be really interesting because I know that's going to be trashy. So if you think I should read that, then let me know. Other than that, I don't know what to read. I have no idea. I have no interest in reading anything. It's also a little bit difficult for me at the moment if there's not that many videos because I am writing exams at the moment for the next month. And so I'm studying the whole time and I don't really have time to read. So maybe a bookhater club episode, definitely. I'm going to put out another one. But review-wise, it's going to probably take a while. If I find something to read and then until I finish it just because of exams, and that's what I'm focusing on at the moment. But I'm gonna fucking go now. Am I still filming? Yeah, okay. I want to go now. Thank you so much for watching. I apologize that it took this long. I'm sorry I got sick. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm gonna eat some ice cream right now and hope I'm gonna feel better. And other than that, thank you so much for watching. I love you. I hope you're staying happy, you're staying healthy. Peace and love. Until my next one. Bye bye.